Jonathan Taylor's my favorite running back in the draft, and I had said this during the season. If you like Saquon Barkley, then you can't not like Jonathan Taylor, who's actually faster. The kid is just tough as nails. He never missed a game in 3 seasons at Wisconsin. He forced 220 missed tackles since 2017. That's the most in college football. And the kid is a track speed. He is a complete burner. And in Wisconsin, he gets tough yards and plays in tough weather. There's just nothing I don't like about him. I think he and Michael Pittman at USC are really the underrated guys in this draft for me. And what do I know? I'm just a loudmouth on radio, but Jonathan Taylor is joining us. First of all, I watched a lot of you in college. There is something about Wisconsin, guys, Jonathan. You're tougher up there. I don't know if the beers, brats, or the cold weather, but it's a football program that develops tough guys. Why?
Well, Colin, I think it starts in the weight room. I think that's where everything starts at. You got to have a right mindset in order to obtain new goals, whether you want to, lift bench heavier, whether you want to squat heavier. It starts with that mindset, and it's a training process that we go through in order to get us mentally and physically prepared for the season, and then it translates over onto the field. You understand that you put that work in throughout the entire offseason, and now you want it to come to life on the field.
When I first heard about you, people said he's a track guy. And I'm like, I don't know if I like track guys playing football. Then I watched you, and it was a gun show. You were all jacked up, and I'm like, oh, my God, he just runs over people. Most track guys aren't as physical as you are. It is almost if you take pride in not just outrunning people, but running over them. Take me into your mindset on that.
Yeah, so really, it all depends on the situation. When you're in the field, you watch film on a guy. So if a guy is a short tackler, if a guy likes to tackle low, if a guy shies away from contact. And in your mind, that you're ready to go around them, you're ready to go through them, you're ready to run past them, and you're really ready to use every tool in your toolbox in order to get past that defender. But you definitely take pride, especially at a program at Wisconsin, of being able to dominate the line up front, the line of scrimmage, and assert your dominance. Now,
you have carried, this is what the critics are going to say. I mean, he's a workhorse. He carried the ball 300 times last couple of years. Running backs, the odometer on him, and we're worried about that. What do you say to the critics who say you've carried the ball too much?
So really, I think you mentioned it earlier in the introduction. Not only have I not missed a game, I haven't missed a practice at all in my 3 years at the university due to injury. And you kind of say pick your poison. You obtain the certain amount of yards, and you have these carries. But you say, would you rather have me less of yards, less of a career? So you kind of have to pick your poison. But like I said, I haven't missed a practice or a game at all in my 3 years due to injury.
Your first, I went back and looked at, you weren't a pass receiving target early. Last year, it felt like Wisconsin wanted to get you more into the passing game last year. Is that right?
Yes, that's definitely true. A lot of people think that, I had to work on, catching a ball and, to get better at was my lack of ability. When you think of Wisconsin football, you think of power, you think of gap. You don't really think of getting your back out in space, making plays through the air. And Coach Chris made it a conscious effort to put that in the scheme to allow me to showcase that. So, kudos to Coach Chris, and I think it definitely opened up a lot of different assets and a lot of different players in the game by being able to do that.
Jonathan Taylor, great Wisconsin running back, just a terrific college career. Typical Badger, tough as a $4 steak. They're all tough up there. You had an early March. If I recall, in early March, did you have a pro day? I know before the virus, kind of hit the nation. Did anybody? What kind of situation did you have in early March? Did you work out for some people?
Yeah, so I had a pro day March 11th, which was a week after the combine, and at the time, it was kind of a quick turnaround. You're like, I prepare for the combine, and then you turn around, you have to prepare for pro day, and now that you look back on it, you're like, I'm thankful that I had such a early pro day so that I was able to get that in and showcase me catching a ball again. But I feel for the guys who didn't get invited for the combine and were banking on pro days that had them canceled. So I'm just grateful I was able to attend the combine and pro day.
Give me a little bit about your background, high school, parents. You seem really incredibly grounded. When did you fall in love with football?
So I really started to fall in love with football my sophomore year of high school. So I originally started playing football because of my cousin. My cousin, he would always come outside and play with us when we were younger, a little bit before 6th grade, and then eventually that stopped around 6th grade. He would always say he couldn't come outside because he had to play. He had to go to football practice. So eventually I asked my mom to sign up, and one thing led to another after getting put on your butt a couple times and then asking the coach, trying to find different ways to get better so that doesn't happen. And then, once I hit high school, the game just grew on me, the competition, the work that it takes to become great, and that's really how it got started.
So people can interview you for 18 minutes at the Combine. How many interviews did you – I'm sure you did very well with them. How many did you have?
I probably had about 20, formal interviews.
Oh, my gosh.
Luckily they broke them up into, the couple of days we were there. I know some guys had a bulk of them in one day, so that was pretty good.
Oh, my Lord. 20 interviews. That would just – were there teams – you don't have to be specific. Were there teams that were really organized and then teams that were weird during the interviews?
Yeah, so there were teams who, when you walked in, there was everyone sitting there, GM, head coach, position coach, asking you about your background, and then go over a little bit of film or some of the schemes that they run. Then there were some teams where it wasn't someone leading the discussion; it was the OC would ask a question, and then the director of college scouting behind you would ask a question, and I think they just tried to do that to see. How would you respond to that? Just the jumbling of people asking you questions from different areas of the room.
So was there anybody famous? Did you ever go to the Patriots and Belichick ask you anything?
So I didn't get to speak to the Patriots, but I did get to meet Pete Carroll, which was cool because he's one of those coaches that, you always see on TV and you're like, man, he seems like a great person. Seems like he really cares about his players. And, I definitely did get that vibe from him at the Combine. So
when you talk to teams, and now you've had this great career, so now in 4 to 5, 6 days, you're going to be drafted in the NFL. Are you, Jonathan, nervous? Are you anxious? Where's your mind at right now?
Really anxious to see where I go. You go to college and you somewhat have a choice because, you have specific offers and it's really your decision. So you're really anxious to see, where are you going to spend the next few years of your life at? And really, it's kind of the beginning of your adult life. You go to college and, that's where you kind of grow up and are on your own. But now it's like you're a professional now and you want to know where you're going to start your life off at, really. Yeah.
Wisconsin football, Camp Randall is crazy. It's hard to explain. I've been there a couple times. It's hard to explain to people that haven't been to Wisconsin. Now, when you go to Wisconsin, it's cold and they drink a lot of beer. Did you love it? Did you love it at first sight?
Oh, I love Madison at first sight. I had got that feel, that college town feel. It wasn't like a huge city feel like New York where it was endless, but it definitely was an area where it was full of life, but also you could feel that community vibe. And if people in Madison aren't wearing green and yellow, they're wearing red and white.
Yeah. Well, I just think you're going to be a great pro. I think you have the right attitude. And don't listen to anybody. Running backs have value, and you do. And I wish you the best of luck. You obviously have been incredibly prepared for this, and I thank you for joining our show.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Jonathan Taylor.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.